Good grammar and spelling are important, but if you want to write essays that inspire, messages that forge brighter connections, and emails that get the job done, you need to think about more than just grammar and spelling. This sentence is grammatically correct, but it's wordy and hard to read. It undermines the writer's message, and the word choice is bland. Grammarly's cutting-edge technology helps you craft compelling, understandable writing that makes an impact on your reader. Much better. Grammarly works where you work, on your computer or your phone. Imagine what you could do with the secrets of the world's best writers at your fingertips, anytime you need them. Are you ready to give it a try? Installation is simple and free. Visit Grammarly.com today.
Holidays are so hard to buy for, especially when it comes to gifts. At Swanky Badger, we make it super easy to find the perfect gift every time. The most popular product that we have is our personalized wallet. It's something you can carry with you every day. And if you've got a special message from someone you love, it makes you feel a certain way every time you open it.
Hey guys, so I gave my husband this wallet.
All right, I guess we're going to get started. So, the Montessori School of San Antonio community, welcome to our first Facebook Live event. I think it's important to note that this was actually one of the suggestions that came through our communication survey. There was some of the parents were hoping to get a chance to meet the head of school and the rest of the admin team, and given the fact that we're not really allowing people to be on campus, we thought this would be a fun and interesting way to move forward. And it gives us the opportunity to kind of explore a little bit more in regards to some of the things that we can do with communications. And so we hope you like it. Not to worry if you're not able to watch this event live. It will be recorded and it will live on our website. So the questions that are going to be answered people can come back and take a look at them. So anyway, I want to welcome you all to our event. I think one of the things that's really important that I do is express my appreciation for our staff and our administrative team. So you're going to get to meet them individually here in a minute before I begin answering questions, but they've put in a great deal of time and effort over the last 6 months to prepare for school starting in a couple of weeks. You know, our Montessori methodology is really focused on that face-to-face experience, and in spite of that, our teachers and everyone has kind of embraced this remote learning option. And you're going to see, I think, some exciting things. You've seen the re-entry plan. You've seen the outline for our remote learning plan. And next week, you're going to get communications from the teachers and class lists and get a little more information. But all of this is to say that it still has only been 6 months, and we anticipate that as our plan evolves, that it will change and improve and be more responsive to our families. I want to kind of acknowledge that we're taking a lot of time to deal with safety and security concerns. You're going to hear from John Allison a little bit, and he's going to introduce himself. But the deep cleaning of the campus, the testing that we're doing to kind of get our baselines for when students are back on campus, the hand washing, all of those protocols, and we'll get into that a little bit more in a minute. But we've really done a lot to ensure that when we are allowed to come back to campus, that it's done in a safe way. So with that, I think we'll go around and introduce to our administrative team, and then we'll circle back around and we'll dive into some of the questions you have. So thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Maru Galarza. I'm in charge of admissions and enrollment. Thank you for watching us today. We are currently doing tours, scheduling interviews, of course with a face mask and added distance, and we're excited to start in the fall. Bienvenidos, soy Maru Galarza, yo me encargo de inscripciones. Me da mucho gusto poder atender a las familias de habla hispana y estoy muy contenta de estar aquí. Gracias.
Hi, I'm John Ellis. I'm the Director of Facilities, and this year we are implementing a new system with a backpack fogger that we'll be spraying all the classrooms with, and an ATP test kit, so we can go back and check our germicidal applications and make sure we're doing the proper method of keeping everything clean and safe for the kids, and we can adjust up and down with the application as needed. And we're also implementing this year the day porter, who will be going around and doing a lot of additional disinfecting and spot-on cleaning for the kids during the day that we didn't have before. So we think with these added measures, it's going to make it a lot better for everybody. So thanks, and enjoy the new year.
Hi, I'm Francesca Creamer, and I'm usually the first person you see when you come on our campus. I'm the receptionist, and I'm super excited to take on an additional role this year as the executive assistant to to our administration. So I'm really excited about this, and we sure do miss all of our students and our families, and look forward to seeing you.
Hi, I'm Coach O. I am the Director of Athletics and After School Programs, which now includes before and after school childcare. Really excited to get you guys all back and active again. As you know, our fall season, competitive season, will not be happening, but on the other hand, we will be offering sport-specific training for first grade and up. So we're really excited to do that, as well as primary and half day. You will also be getting your regular sport-specific training and languages. So again, can't wait to see you. We miss you.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Gomez, and I'm the nurse for NSSA, and I am looking forward to a safe and healthy school year.
Hello everyone, my name is Cynthia Mullen and I'm the IT specialist for MSSA, and my role is to help faculty and staff with any technology issues and support for everything we're launching in the new year and what we currently have in place. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Patty Escobedo, coordinator of the Child Care Program. I'm looking forward to the new year. Please be assured that your children will still have fun while social distancing. Thank you. Looking forward to seeing you.
Hi, I'm Teresa Powers, and I'm the program director, and I am so grateful to the work that the teachers have done, the administration has done, and I'm really looking forward to working with all of you and getting to know your families and your children, and looking forward to having us all come together with our remote opening, but really looking forward to opening school.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth Holland. I'm the bookkeeper, and I look forward to meeting you in the new school year.
And I'm Jocelyn Duran. I'm the Director of Communications. I'm tasked with coming up with fun new ways to get information to you, like this virtual event. I'm also open to suggestions if you have them. You can send those directly to me. Another big role I have is getting Dr. Ahlstrom's message out. So without further ado, we'll send it back to him.
All right, again, thank you. You can imagine for educators who really their whole center of life is speaking to children, that getting in front of a camera for a period of time isn't their favorite thing to do. So I just want to express my appreciation that they're being good sports, and I think it's really important for everyone to get to see people face to face, and even though we can't do it live and we're doing it virtually, it's still an opportunity to put a name to a face and understand who it is that you might, if you have a question, who you could reach out to. So we're going to go ahead and dive into the questions. We tried to collect questions beforehand, and I assume that we'll get through most of them, but maybe not all of them. And there may be some that come up kind of through this event. And so if we have time, we'll grab them, but if not, I just want to let you know that we're going to try and respond to them individually afterward. But with that, let's move forward. So we got a lot of questions about kind of where we're collecting our data from in regards to making our policies. And so the first question is from Elizabeth Del Toro, and basically that's what she wants to know. She wants to know about advance notice for how things change, whether we have remote learning or face-to-face, and had some questions about, would we stagger entrance into the building. So let's just kind of take it in bits. So we are using information from our task force, the board, the CDC, the teachers, TEA, local and state health officials, and all of that is kind of putting together to collect kind of the overall policy of the school. Actually, we've had some great help from our task force actually collating all of that information into a single document so that we can kind of put those things together. One of the challenges, however, is that a lot of that information is somewhat, let's just say it, it's a little bit contradictory. So we've had to kind of navigate that space. And so I think one of the pieces of data that's probably important that you're not aware of is that what we do as a school is benchmark our policy. So taking all of this data to create our policy and procedures is then benchmarked against what the other independent schools in San Antonio are doing. And so we feel like through those two processes, we can get to a pretty good place in regards to what we're trying to do. We do feel that we have a healthy and safe process in place when we are allowed to return to campus, and when we've been practicing kind of that space, in a limited way as people visit the campus. This question about advance notice as far as how things are changing, I certainly understand that can be frustrating, right? But the reality is that things are kind of changing continuously, and while I would like to kind of be able to kind of guarantee, X, Y, and Z as we move forward, the reality is we just can't do that. And our plan, of course, is to continue as we've described, to start our school year on the 24th with remote learning, and then to resume face-to-face instruction with a hybrid model on September 8th. But a lot of things can change between now and the 8th, and so the reality is I can't guarantee that. We have considered things like if the remote learning plan is extended for whatever reason, that we might be able to bring small groups on campus. And we've actually also considered things like staggered enrollment or half-day things. But what we discovered when we kind of dove into the data was that we actually have enough space on our campus to accommodate our students. So we don't really need to do staggering or things like that. So you may have heard in other places in regards to social distancing, wearing masks, hand washing, sanitizing of the space, that the schools aren't able to accommodate that in the way, fully, right? Because they have a student population that is in excess of kind of what their square footage is. That just isn't the case here. We actually have plenty of room on our campus, and we do have the ability to take temperatures multiple times a day, keep our families and our students, in masks, observe the hand washing, teach all that process, and so we do feel that we will have a safe environment when we're able to return for parents who want to do that. The next question has to do with kind of entering the school. So I don't want to give too much of that specifically away, other than that we do have a process. So you're going to see in the coming weeks some videos like this one from Nurse Kimberly, where she actually demonstrates some of these procedures. So one of the pieces is some new software that we're using that's called School Pass, and that will have essentially the checklist that parents need to go through in order to come to school. There's a specific procedure for getting out of the car and checking temperatures, coming into the building, going into the classroom, hand washing, temperature checks, all of those things. I just want you to know that we actually have thought through each of those pieces. I think probably the best thing that we're doing in that regard is keeping our cohort model. And that model, which will allow the same group of students to kind of work through the course of the day, from the beginning of the day through the end of the day and after school activities, is a way that we can really secure that environment for them. All right, let's see, let's move on. So I got a lot of questions about what I think people are calling the hybrid model, and Elena Satorio is one of the people who asked about that. So I want to talk about that a little bit better. The reality is that the terminology hybrid model isn't probably the best, but what we are intending to do in September on the 8th is give people the option to choose either face-to-face instruction or remain with the remote learning option for a period of time. So I think it's important to kind of talk about this for a minute. We are developing kind of each of these pieces of the curriculum as we go, and we're trying to collect data as we go through this to improve the process. So we feel really confident in each of these spaces, but we haven't actually done the remote learning plan yet, with families. And so we want to kind of collect that data and use that to kind of inform how we move forward with the with the combined model, with the hybrid model. So you should anticipate at some point, in the near future, a description of what this hybrid model will look like, and then you, as parents, will have to choose for a period of time, probably at the quarter at least, which one of these models you want to proceed with after September 8th. And again, I think I think being patient with the teachers as we work through this process and making sure that they get all of their questions answered will, in the long run, be the most satisfactory experience for our parents. What we don't want to do is, kind of make a blanket policy before we've really worked through at least as many of the details as we can with the staff. And we think that measured approach will give us the best outcome in the long run. So, again, I just want to express my appreciation and my desire that people be patient with what we're doing. I said it before, but our teachers have embraced this online remote learning experience, and this is coming from a place of 10, sometimes 25 years of focusing entirely on face-to-face instruction. And in spite of that, they've jumped in with both feet to really create something that's going to reflect our Montessori values and really be a benefit of the kids. But it only has been 6 months since they've been trying to develop this, and so we want to give them kind of the headspace and the time to think about it and do things and evolve the program in a way that makes sense to them and serves the kids in the best way possible. I got a question about how specials will be handled. So this was from Melissa Palermo Ramon. And with the special, students will be traveling from class to class in their cohorts. The students they won't be singing right away for obvious reasons, but they will be doing different types of curriculum. The new Spanish teacher, our music teachers, our PE teachers have been doing a lot of research about how to do these programs in the most effective way possible. So, but one of the things we're trying to take into consideration is that our specials teachers teach every student on campus, and so in order to facilitate that for both face-to-face and remote learning, and actually have a continuous kind of connected curriculum that follows a path, that's what they're tasked with. And so trying to put that all together is their challenge, and really I think they've done a great job. And we imagine with all things that there'll be some input and some improvement, but I'm very happy with the progress that they've made since they first started working with the remote program back in the spring. The next question was from Gloria Manzano, and what she wanted to know about is, if I could talk through the process of when a student tests positive. So strangely enough, that's the easy piece. Once we find out that a student is test positive, that individual will be quarantined for 2 weeks and until they have a negative test and can report that back. But it actually speaks to kind of a bigger question. So there's lots of things that can happen in someone's life kind of before they get the actual positive test. And so what we are doing is, Kimberly Gomez, our nurse, she is kind of sorted out through what all the specific details are. So if you have a question or some kind of, about exposure or about this or about that, our suggestion is that you reach out to her individually, because everybody's situation and how we move forward with this might be slightly different. But generally speaking, if you've been exposed, we want you to get tested. If you have a positive test, we want you to stay home and be quarantined. Obviously, if it's a negative test, then you can come back. We do feel, however, that given the fact that everyone's wearing masks, that we're doing social distancing, that we will not need to quarantine an entire class if an individual tests positive. Now, we are working in close contact with the health department, and this policy aligns with what they're describing. Having said that, if it looks like there's kind of an uptick or there's a number of positive cases, we certainly reserve the right to close down a section or a class and totally disinfect and quarantine the whole class. Recently, the guidance from the state was that they actually defined exposure for us. And exposure is prolonged contact over 15 minutes with someone who has tested positive and be within that social distancing limit, or a direct contact like being coughed on or sneezed. One of the things we're happy about is that's not going to be an option on our campus. Students will and teachers will always be wearing a mask and will always be socially distanced. We know that we're dealing with kids and there will be some flexibility there, but our policy is set up to give us kind of added layers of protection. But to answer the question, yes, if you test positive, we want you to report it to Nurse Kimberly. We want that individual to be quarantined, and obviously there will be some further instructions depending on what the specifics are for those individuals. Okay. So I did speak to this a little bit. The reality is we are getting some conflicting information. So I'm sure that most of you heard from the Attorney General and also the Governor, which what they're doing is in contrast to what we're hearing from the Bexar County Health Department. And what we're trying to do is make the best policy for our school and for our families. We're really not in the position to disregard any of this information, even if it isn't consistent. But at this time, we still are planning to have a remote instruction on the 24th for 2 weeks, and then provide the option for families who want face-to-face instruction to come back to campus on the 8th. Excuse me. There is the other question here was about continuing the surveys, and we do intend to do that, to continue to collect feedback. We've done 2 so far. We did one around communications, and then one about basically parents' comfort level with face-to-face or remote learning. And we will be asking for more input as we move forward, and we will do some surveys. There will be some other things that are probably less formal. We're also working through the task force to collect information from them. So I think we talked a little bit about the hybrid model, and that is a question that came up from a few people. Let's see, let's move on. Let's see. So the last question that I have, oh no, there's another page here. Sorry, the next question has to do with TPP. So for those of you who aren't familiar, the Montessori School of San Antonio offers a tuition protection plan. And it typically covers several categories. And the category that was added this year was an opportunity for parents who participate in the plan, if the school is closed for an extended period of time, has a school closure, that would be one of the conditions covered by the insurance plan. I believe as it stands, it's 20 consecutive school days before that triggers, and obviously you have to enroll in the plan to participate in it. But we, at the end of last year, the administration and the board wanted to provide an added layer of comfort to our parents who were having some, I think, normal anxiety or trepidation about moving forward with the school year. I guess this is a good opportunity for me to not necessarily speak about TPP, but the idea of we're all kind of experiencing, unfortunately, a term that I've heard recently is COVID fatigue, and the reality is we're not not really done with COVID. And so there's a couple of things that brings to mind. And the first one is essentially our very shared responsibility to keep everyone safe. It's on the school to follow through on its process and its procedures. You know, we do hope that parents and families will social distance, will wear masks, will hand wash, do all those things that are appropriate to keep our community safe when they're not on campus. We do want to be able to have kids on campus. Really, every recommendation that we're seeing is that as we move forward, getting the kids back into the building, having them go back to school in as normal fashion as we can, you know, given these conditions, is really important. And so we want to do that. And even in the face of the fact that, you know, there may be some individuals who test positive with COVID while we're back on campus. But that's a piece that we share. Having said that, you know, that's not the Montessori School of San Antonio, right? That's a thing that we're dealing with right now. Our school community, our school culture, the reality is it's much bigger than that. The Board of Trustees, our families, our faculty, our administration, the task force, our parents, you know, are connected to a Montessori philosophy and, for lack of a better word, right, a way of life. A way of life that brings kids to a campus where they are being taught in a way that is developmentally appropriate for them, using the Montessori philosophy, you know, lots of outdoor time, lots of practical life, lots of grace, lots of care and consideration. And that's really who we are at the Montessori School of San Antonio. And so while we have to deal with what we have to deal with in the short run, my hope and my prayer is that, you know, people will kind of connect to the bigger picture. What the school is about, that we're going to get back to that as absolutely as soon as possible, and that in the meantime, that, you know, everybody kind of holds the course. And we want parents to feel safe about coming to school, and if they do, great, we want their kids here. If they want to wait a little bit until things settle down, we want to be able to give that option to people. We want our teachers to feel safe. We want them, and you know, I've spent a lot of time talking individually to everyone on campus. I've been calling, emailing, bringing them in when they're on campus. And again, I don't need to tell you this, but you know, the teachers, they love your kids. They want them back in the school. They want them back on camp. They want to be back on campus, and they want to do it, you know, in a safe way. And that's, you know, and in reality, right, that's what our school is about. And so, in the meantime, we're going to deal with COVID. We're going to do it in as safe a way as possible, but we're looking to the future when the school comes back, you know, in its, you know, gets back to normal, for lack of a better word. And two of the goals that I've shared with the board, that I've shared with our faculty and staff, you know, where we want to see this year end up is that we want all of our families re-enrolled and back in school, and we want all of our teachers, you know, feeling, we want all of our teachers back as well. We want them to feel like this is a year that challenged them, maybe pushed them a little bit, but they felt supported. They felt supported from the administration, from the board, and from the parents, and that, you know, there was lots of patience, you know, going back and forth, so that we can retain kind of what our, you know, what our primary assets are of the school, which is our families and our teachers and our faculty. So, moving on. We are really excited to begin the school year. I'm sure, like you, right, having been quarantined for a couple of months even before the summer, we're super excited to get back to doing what we do best, which is working with kids and teaching and educating children. And whether it's from a remote learning option or face-to-face, we're just thrilled. I'm really happy to say that actually inquiries and tours are still going full speed. Maru has done a fantastic job this year, excuse me, in promoting the school. And we still have people who are touring weekly and still enrolling. I want to give you a quick update about some information that's going to come out in the future, and then we'll kind of wrap things up. So we've been trying to do some videos where we're, I'm trying to give updates weekly, but beyond that, there's going to be some other things that come out in the near future. So next week, you're going to hear from one of our board members, who is also on the task force. I already mentioned that our nurse, Kimberly Gomez, is going to, we're going to be releasing a video that kind of talks parents through our procedures for how to get onto campus. There's a few other ones, and I'm not going to kind of outline all of them, but just, things that we think that will be interesting to you. But beyond that, so next week is an important week in regards to getting information from the school. So I wanted to make sure I kind of wrote some of these things down. So the parent-teacher meetings are next week. And in a normal world, right, our parents' primary contact for getting lots of information about the school would be their teacher. And so we want to make sure that parents kind of get back in the habit of working through their teachers. If you have admissions questions, obviously Maru is still the person to talk to. Communications to Jocelyn. Program goes to Teresa. And you certainly can reach out to those people individually. But next week we will have the parent-teacher meetings. One of the things that I'm going to be attending that I haven't done before is the Montessori parent training. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing that. And also you'll be seeing your class rosters next week. All right. In summary, we feel very confident that we have a plan in place that's going to ensure the safety and security of our families, our students, and our faculty and staff. Having said that, we are not ignorant to the fact that sometime during the year, somebody will be on campus who will test positive for COVID. What we plan to do is to support our community and our staff through that experience. We have the process in place. We know that we know which protocols to follow. We know how to what steps have to take place to kind of keep everybody safe. But our goal is to end of the year is that people feel like this experience has built community for them. And I want to do everything I can do to support that, and I know that you do as well. So with that, I'm going to sign off, and I'll see your comments in a bit. But I hope this was beneficial to you, and I look forward to getting to know you face to face in the future.